Welcome back. It's RGR, and this is going to be Sunday morning. CNOT, I know it's kind of late for us, but how you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good, man. The Conor McGregor fight's coming up, man. This shows a real dedication to the craft to record this before Conor McGregor. I'm not really a UFC guy by really any means. Like, I don't really see the – I'm not going to say I don't see the skill, because I clearly see the skill, but I'm just more of a boxing guy, you know? Like, it's just an exciting, more fun sport to follow. But Conor McGregor is sort of one of those individuals that can always get me to sit down and pay attention to it. So I'm not going to lie to you here. The moment I see Conor McGregor's going to fight, my answer is I'm going to be out here. I'm going to be out here running 40 minutes of hell like Nolan Richardson.
Dude, just drop me an Irish accent and I'll cut it. It's cool. So in the meantime, we'll knock it out here because this will go up on Sunday morning, and we're both kind of surprised, happy, I don't know, to be back in this same position a year later. How do you feel about where this team sits today versus last year?
I mean, I think from a number one standpoint now, to point it out, we're doing this on Saturday night and it's coming out on Sunday morning, but I'm under the impression that Sammy Watkins is going to play. I'm under the impression that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to play in this game. So for week 20, week 21 of the NFL season, you can't really ask to be in a better position from a health standpoint. Obviously, Mitchell Schwartz isn't going to be here, but you're going to have attrition. You're going to have injuries over the course of a grueling football season. So the fact that this team is going to find themselves, Mahomes is going to play, Hill's going to play, Kelsey's going to play, Matthew's going to play, Frank is going to play, Thornhill. Like, if we made a list of who you think are the 12 most important players on the team, 11 of them are going to play in the game. I don't really know how you can ask to be in a better position. I also think Kansas City is a team that needs to be challenged, and I don't think they were challenged by the regular season. I think they were going to score at least 35 points against Cleveland before the injury happened. And now fast forward to this game, you remember the energy they came out with against Baltimore, where everybody kind of looked at Baltimore as being Kansas City's equal. This is a team that if you're Kansas City, people have been talking about Buffalo ever since that Sunday night game where they defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been talking a lot about this Buffalo Bills team. So I expect to see the best version of the Chiefs come out and play.
Yeah, I kind of feel that same way too. They seem like the kid in the back of the class that, you know, he's going to get C's unless you really push him, right? And then he's an A student, that kind of thing. Like, they need somebody in their face to get up. One guy you didn't mention that I think is kind of key, because I think he lets everybody else do what they do. Looks like Rashad Breeland's going to play as well, and I think that lets Snead line up where he wants and Matthew do his thing. How do you think about that trickle down in the secondary?
I mean, I'm sure we'll get to this, and it's kind of jumbled up into my thoughts when it comes to the secondary. I don't think the course of beating Kansas City is to be as one-dimensional as Buffalo is. Like, if you look at all the losses that have happened while Patrick Mahomes has been the quarterback of the team, there are some differences, like the Chiefs have been banged up or whatever it is. But for the most part, every team that they've played has run the ball very successful against Kansas City. That I'm not saying that Buffalo needs to go out here and run for 190 yards and Devil Singletary needs to have 15 carries for 105 yards, but can Buffalo win this game with 15 carries for 40 yards and expecting Josh Allen to go out there and throw for 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions? Like, I don't know if that's the equation of beating Kansas City, and I think that's what you're asking them to do. Let's not kid ourselves. Like, I know Buffalo won their last game. They did not play well. They scored 10 points offensively. They got 6 points off of a pick six. Like, if Buffalo plays even somewhat similar to how they played against the Ravens, they get beat by at least 21 points in this game.
Yeah, you know, there are two offenses that aren't living up to the hype, or at least, like you said, the Chiefs didn't during the regular season. I have trouble imagining that the Bills are able to raise their level of play all of a sudden, like we both kind of expect the Chiefs to. At the end of the day, the pass game has to be what they rely on, because I don't think they're going to have the ability to run the ball for much better than 40, 50 yards. And nothing against Singletary. I think he's a good back. But the question to me when it comes to the run game is containing Allen, because I think he is a little bit more viable to break out and take advantage of some of that if they feel they can get him to the edge. Do you think that should be in their game plan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it where I think that in order for Buffalo to win this game, I think Josh Allen probably needs to throw for close to 300 yards. I also think he needs to run the ball for at least 50. Like, I think Josh Allen needs to be their running back in this, where you've seen them. They run a lot of those RPO, short yardage, kind of power running game with the quarterback. I think they're going to have to do that and be pretty successful doing it, where to kind of go to what you were saying. don't have any questions on whether Patrick Mahomes can beat the Buffalo Bills. Like, that's not even a thought in my mind. I question if Josh Allen can beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't think the Chiefs defense gets enough credit, where oddly enough, I think they're now underrated and underappreciated for what they've done. For the most part, they've done a really good job in limiting teams, and they haven't allowed the Chiefs to get into very many shootouts this year. I know they lost the game to the Raiders, but we're not really seeing a whole lot of games where a receiver like Diggs and Beasley really dominated this team, or they gave up 150 yards on the ground. Like, for the most part, they've been pretty stout. So I know Kansas City, if they're going to be healthy and the weather cooperates, they're going to be able to score. And I also trust Kansas City's ability to – they can do it in multiple ways. Like, I saw them do it against this team the first time, running it 46 times. I also think they can throw it 46 times if they need to and win the game. Can Buffalo show that versatility? Can they beat you with both the right and the left hand?
Well, and that's a really good point, because I agree. I think they can run if they have to. Do you think that they do, maybe in order to keep Mahomes from taking any extra hits? Do they limit the RPOs to take a little bit off of him given last week's injury?
Sorry, I clicked away for 2 seconds. I was looking for the Conor McGregor fight. Repeat what you said one more time. I promise you I'm listening.
They're going. But, okay, so we had the head thing, right? Concussion or not concussion, whatever. Do you think that they try to run the ball a little bit more and try to not RPO as much?
No, my bad. I don't think the head injury is going to be an issue at all. I don't think that we're going to see any lingering effects from the concussion or the nerve or whatever people think happened.
Yeah.
I do think with the foot injury, that's going to be the interesting thing. And I think we were seeing in the first half of the game that Mahomes was I thought he was favoring the foot. I thought it was pretty clear that it was uncomfortable. And I don't think it's necessarily as much in a run, because it's not like Mahomes is going to run a lot. I think it comes down to, I think what makes him so good is his ability to escape pressure and make throws from on the run. And I wonder if he's going to be able to do that. I also wonder if he's going to be able to plant and get the same power coming off that foot that he normally does. That's my questions for Mahomes physically in this. But when it comes to the head injury and being on the concussion protocol, I don't have any questions about that. I do not think we're going to see lingering effects from that, because, quite frankly, I don't believe Mahomes ever had a concussion.
Fair enough. He certainly, even if he did, recovered from it really, really quick. So at the end of the day, not a number or anything, but how do you see this game going? Do they get out to a hot start? Do they have to hold on at the end? How do you feel it goes?
I think Kansas City is going to dial in. I think they've been sort of waiting for this moment. We talked about the health and them being 100% healthy. I think that's going to be a major factor in this game. I picked Kansas City to win 35-24. I think we've seen in playoff games that you need to at least bring 30 points to the dance if you're going to beat Kansas City. I don't think that Buffalo is going to score 30. I looked this up because I was really curious over the course of the week. So Buffalo averaged 34 points this year against non-playoff teams and 26 points against playoff teams, where Kansas City averaged 30 against non-playoff teams and 28 against playoff teams. And that's even factoring in what they did last week, where I think they were going to score 30, but they ended up not having Patrick Mahomes for the duration of it. I need to see this Buffalo team look as sharp and crisp offensively against a team that's their equal and their counterpart. Last week, they didn't do that. I would say 2 weeks ago against the Colts, I don't think they did that. I thought the Colts actually looked better than Buffalo in that game. And I just thought that Indianapolis made a lot of mistakes to go out there and lose that football game. They just got to show me that what we saw them do the final 4 weeks of the season, can they translate that against a team that I think has as much talent in them and is as good at quarterback as they are? I just haven't seen it. So I think Kansas City wins this game. I think they win it pretty convincingly. And I think Kansas City wants to prove something in this game. I don't think that's really been a motivating factor for the Chiefs the second half of the season. I do think it's going to be in this game.
I certainly hope that it is. I expect it. And folks, we want to know what you think. Make sure that you like and comment and do the thing down there. And make sure you go listen to CDOT. Thanks for taking the time tonight, man.
The next time you want to do this, I promise you we can go 45 minutes live. We can answer questions. We can do all of that kind of stuff. I promise you. Let's find, because this week we had like a miscommunication or none of that. Regardless of what happens, this week's going to be important. Either their season's going to be over or it's going to be preparation for the Super Bowl. So let's lock in a time this week. I will allocate an hour. We can take all the questions you want. You can hype it up. I'll be on here, and we can do one of these things for a long period of time.
That sounds like a great idea to me, so we'll do it. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.